Hi, my name's Charlie Thorburn. Welcome to Mordor Gundogs. We're going to be training a 10-month-old Cocker Spaniel who hasn't had any training for a month. So what we're going to do with Waffle here, this is Waffle, some of you may know him. What we're going to do with Waffle is we're going to take him out for a training session, but we're going to show you what happens if you don't do anything with your dog for a month. Now, the reason I've not done anything with Waffle for a month is because I've been away all around the world delivering dogs and doing dog training and things, mainly in America. And so Waffle's been at home and he's been well looked after. He's been out for runs, he's been out playing, but he hasn't had any training at all. Literally nothing. He hasn't been on a lead. The only thing he's been asked to do is sit and wait for his food and probably wait at the door of his kennel before he goes in and before he goes out and come when he calls. But he hasn't done any lead work, any formal training at all. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to head off down the track. We're going to see how we get on. Heel. So I walked away from the kennels and Waffle walked okay at heel. I'd probably give him a 5 out of 5, maybe a 6 out of 10 for his heel on the lead. He had a little moment, which we'll show you. He had a little moment of whoo, he just sort of lost the plot for a second. It was almost like he got stung by a bee. Why did he do that? Just because he's Waffle and he's a cocker and he's a clown. You know, why do any of us do anything? You don't need to overthink everything. Just go, sometimes things happen and it's happened because, you know, he hasn't had enough practice. He's not been out and he's a bit like, whoa, I'm going out. It's excited. So what do I think is going to happen when I let Waffle off and I start doing more with him? Well, what I think is going to happen, and this is just based on the fact that I know Waffle, I know cockers, I've trained thousands of dogs and I've been doing it for 20 years plus. So I sort of have a good indication, a bit like a school teacher. I kind of know what's going to happen when the kids come back from school holidays. They're a little bit like away with the fairies. It's going to take them a little bit of time to get back into kind of organised school mode, focus mode. So he's going to be the same. So I don't want to get on his case too much. I don't want to be too strict with him, but I also don't want to go, oh, well, he's had a holiday. Yeah, he has. He's had a holiday and it's done, okay? We're back to work. So we're back on training. Now, the first thing I'd say is it ideal that Waffle's had a month off doing nothing? No, of course it's not, because we're all better if we just keep plodding away. Yeah, we need a break. Kids need a school holiday. But, you know, any of you with kids, you're probably in agreement with me that Christmas holidays and Easter holidays are fine. Summer holidays are way too long, okay? We want to murder our kids. They're driving us up the bloody wall. We want to get them back to school. They can't wait to get back to school because they want to see their pals and home's got a bit boring because they've done everything, they've broken everything, they've trashed everything. They're ready to go back. So there's definitely a balance, okay? I'm sure the teachers love the summer holidays, but as parents, we don't. Dogs are kind of the same. So a bit of time off. Sometimes some of the guys working with me or clients will come to us and be like, oh, you know, well, what's going wrong? And I'm like, you're probably doing too much. Why are they getting bored of the tennis ball? Because you're probably doing too much. So just ease off a little bit. But there's getting that balance right. Now, how do we know what that balance is? It's really hard to put that on paper because it's different for every dog. It's different for every situation. Some dogs just will go out every day and do retrieve after retrieve after retrieve. Some of them will get bored quicker. Some of them need more time off. Some of them will leap around like a jack-in-the-box. You just have to learn as you go along, and I've obviously got the experience of doing this a lot with a lot of different dogs, so it comes more naturally at how to handle it and how much pressure to put on and how much encouragement to give and when to give encouragement, when to give a telling off, etc. There isn't a sort of written rule, and this is always a controversy really that I have is over the years, and I probably will get round to it at some point, but over the years people have said, oh, you should write a book, you should write a book. The book would be so many volumes to cover so many different aspects of so many different dogs to make sure you had a good understanding of really what goes on inside my little head, that it's not that simple. And to give you to just go, oh, I read a book, I read a book on dog training, so now I know how to train dogs. I mean, it's just a load of bollocks, basically, because you get a good understanding, a bit like if you go to have a lesson with someone and a lesson with someone else and a lesson back with the same person, you do learn stuff. You're watching my videos, you're probably watching other people's videos. You are learning stuff, but you've got to consume so much and do so much practice to really understand it deep down. And the rest of the time, you're slightly wandering along in the dark, hoping you don't bump into anything. And that's just what it is. And, don't worry about it. That's just what it is. And sometimes we find ourselves wandering along in the dark as well. But as long as you're ready to react and you're ready to do something about it rather than standing there going, oh, What do I do next? So Waffle's leaping around like a bit of an idiot, sort of nipping at my jumper and things. I don't want to engage with him too much, because if I engage with him, he's going to be like, oh, look, I'm getting attention from Daddy. Look, I'm jumping up and getting attention. There you go. You see, as soon as I start being a clown, he starts being a clown. But I also don't want to be like, get down, Waffle, what are you doing? Because he's just seen me for the first time in ages, and he's just enthusiastic about being out. So where do we start? Well, I've done a bit of heel work. I've done a bit of sitting and staying. It's not that successful, if I'm honest. He's been leaping around. He's certainly not sitting calmly like he normally does when we're doing these videos. The question now would be, do I give him a bit of a run just to take a little bit of the lunacy off, or do I get him to walk to heel? Probably the answer is a little bit of both. I'm going to do a little bit of healing, and then I'm going to let him have a run, and then a little bit more healing, then let him have a run. What I'm not going to do is let him have a half an hour run, tear around and tire himself out, and then kid myself into thinking that he's behaving. And also what I'm not going to do is make him walk to heel for half an hour. So it's just getting that balance. So we're going to do a little bit more healing, and then we're going to have a little run around. Eye contact, heel. Keeping that loose lead all the time. He's just getting a little bit ahead of me, so I'm going to change direction. The usual warm-up that we do with all the dogs. Keeping that lead loose all the time. As soon as he gets distracted, little tug. It's all just done with one finger. He's not needing a firm tug at all. He's just needing a little correction, a little tap on the shoulder, a little reminder. Sit. Now I was about to take the lead off and he jumped up to kiss me. Sit. I'm not wanting that. I'm not wanting to encourage that, okay? Sit. Sit. So every time he jumps up, just give him a correction. So he's not getting anything positive from that jumping up. Sit. Pause. Try it again. Sit. Now he's just wanting that engagement. He's just a cocker. I'm leaning down to him. He's like, oh, look, you're leaning down to me. You're going to talk to me. As soon as I get that lead off and I stand up again, he calms down again. So it's just managing that. You don't want it to become a habit, okay? So just managing that and making sure he doesn't do it just as standard. Sit. Bit of sitting and staying. I caught him. Sit. Sit. I put him back. Sit. Sit. Now, this is where the kind of, I suppose, experience comes in. I know if I keep trying to do big sits and stays with him, it's all going to go bloody wrong, okay? So I just try and do a little bit, and then I go, you know, that's fine. Now off you go, Waffle. Go and have a little run. So I've done a bit of healing. I've done a bit of sitting. I've done a bit more healing. I've taken the lead off. I've done a bit more sitting. I've done a little sit and stay. And now just, whoa, Waffle's just going for a run. He's just getting that little bit of freedom, that little bit of fun that he needs. Waffle, come here. Now he's not listening, so hey, Waffle. Get his attention, get him back to me. Waffle, come here. Here, good boy. Sit. Get his focus again. Off you go. Come on. Good boy, off you go. So I'm using some of my own advice. I'm running away from him. I'm not waiting for him to come to me. If he's off in the other direction, I'll run away while he goes to the loo. Good boy. Waffle, here. Waffle. So we've done a bit of recall. Now he didn't listen to one of the recalls. He was too busy smelling a fox poo. It's pretty disgusting. So I went after him. I used a bit of negativity. I was, what you doing? Don't you ignore me. Got his attention, and then, good boy, encouraging back to me. About that Jekyll and Hyde personality that I have. It's like, you're not listening to me, your back is to me, so I'm gonna come and get you. As soon as he turns and he engages with me, good boy, you see, if you engage with me, we're gonna be friends. Okay, my body language lowers, I become a nice guy again. He then had a bit of a zoomy off over there. He was actually going to the bathroom, but as he went that way, rather than standing here and calling him, I went off in the other direction, and he came zooming back. Now, because he's in a sort of silly, excitable mood, one of the things he's doing, which is a classic, which we see with you know, you'll all have seen with your dog, as you call them back, they're coming right up to you and then and off they go past you. So what I did, I knew that was going to happen, so I put myself with the back to the fence, okay? So when he came zooming in, he couldn't go past me. He was just like, oh, there's the fence. If I run into that, it's going to hurt. So he just stopped, and I popped him on his lead. Heel. Sit. Now, before I went away, I was starting to do steadiness training with Waffle. So I was teaching him to wait for his ball and go and get it when he's told. Now, he's probably not had a retrieve, he's not had anything for a month, so he's certainly not going to be steady. So I'm keeping him on the lead. Sit, sit, sit. Giving him a few little tugs, sit. A few dummy throws, pretending to throw it, sit, sit. You can see he's like, oh, I want to get that. So his steadiness has gone out the window. But to make sure we get it back in the window, we're just keeping hold of him. Sit, sit. And just doing it a little bit on our terms, okay? Out. Waffle, good boy. Good boy. Waffle. Waffle. Hey. Here. You can see he's just kind of like, whoa, I'm out. He's hugely excited. So, we just need to do baby steps. We need to think about going back, way back, and just doing baby steps. But what you'll see is if we do these baby steps, it'll just click back in his mind. It'll click back in his mind. It'll click back in his mind. Now, when I was young, I was quite good at maths. I got an A at GCSE maths. I got an A at A-level maths, but it was bloody years ago. And ever since then, every time I need to do maths, I use my phone, okay? Because I'm lazy. Waffle's got lazy. His healing's got sloppy. His sitting's got sloppy. His steadiness has gone out the window. It's still there, but we need to remind him. In the same way as if I sit down and I do maths with my kids for their homework, I start to remember stuff. I start to figure out, oh, I remember learning that. I know how to do that. But it's just spending that time going over it again, which re-engages it in my mind. It's in there, it's just quite far back. Waffle's the same. It's in there, it's just quite far back. So we need to just go back to the basic stuff, and people go, oh, I need to go back to the basics. It's a very common thing I hear people saying. And generally what's going on in my head is I'm like, you never did the bloody basics. But I know Waffle's done the basics. You guys do as well, because you've seen him doing really well, you've seen his progress, and it's all just gone out the window. So what have I learned from this? I've learned that leaving Waffle doing nothing for a month at this stage in his life has got no benefit at all, and it does have a detrimental effect. Does it have a long-term detrimental effect? No. Will we be able to get him back to the level he was at and further on and progress quickly? Yes, absolutely. You know, if we do another video in a week's time, Waffle will be back to, you know, your good old usual Waffle, being a nice little dog, and he'll have got over this silliness. But what it's shown me is that next time I go away, if I'm going away again, I'm going to have to ask someone else that helps me, works with me, to do some training with Waffle just to keep him ticking over. So, you know, not everyone's got that option at home to have someone just train their dog while they're away, but they do, because they can send them to us, Mordor Gundogs boarding school, and we can do it for you, a little plug. So Waffle, at the stage he's at, a 10, 11-month-old cocker, exuberant cocker, you leave them to their own devices and they're going to go downhill. Don't go, oh, well, I've done that 12-week training course, you know, that's me trained. Absolutely not. You are not even close. Waffle has still got a good 6 or 7 months, 8 months worth of serious intensive training before he is going to go to his new home and be a great little dog. He's got to mature, but he's also got to just do more and more training, so that when you go away for a month, you don't come back and find he's gone backwards. If I go into the kennels and get one of my 2, 3-year-old dogs, Waffle's auntie or someone, little Mash, if I went and got Mash out and I started hunting her up the field and stopping on the whistle, she would go boom, 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 and she'd do the whole bloody thing. And she, the same, has done nothing for a month because I've been away and she's one of my dogs. But I know if I brought her out, she would behave beautifully, because it's more ingrained in her mind and it's more there. In the same way, when the teachers get back to school, hopefully it doesn't take them a few days wandering around with their head in the air, wondering, you know, where they've left their pencil case. Hopefully, because they're professionals and they're back on it straight away, whereas the kids wander around with their head in the air. So I hope that makes sense, and we look forward to seeing Waffle in another week or so when he's tuned up again. Remember to like and subscribe and tell your friends. I'm sporting a new Mordor Gundogs cap, which is going to be available soon, so watch this space. We've just been getting them made, so that's pretty cool. Try and make us all look a bit smarter, and they're going to be available to clients and viewers as well. And you know, keep those comments coming, keep asking those questions, and we'll keep putting out good videos hopefully. Thanks for watching.